In 1999, there was a movie called Misery, and what it is, it's based off a Stephen King book. I don't know if you know who Stephen King is. He's a very great author of famous horror books and thrillers. And what this movie is depicting is an author, he gets into a car crash, and this psychotic fan of his rescues him. And what she does is she does not let him leave his or her house. And one night he tries to escape and she catches him. Next thing you know, he wakes up, he's been drugged, and he's tied down to the bed. And she explains to him how there were these diamond miners, like workers, and sometimes they would steal diamonds. And in order for the workers to punish these miners, they would do something called hobbling, so that they would still be able to work, but they would also be punished. And what hobbling is, she sticks this metal block, or this, wooden block in between his legs, and she gets a sledgehammer. She winds up and then whacks him right in the ankles, and in the movie you see his ankle like snap. And if this image like makes you cringe, I know it kind of makes me cringe. I watch this scene a lot, and it just made me cringe a lot. Like, because if you watch it, like it's really disgusting. You see his bones snap and you cry. And ugh. Well, the moral of the story is, if that made you cringe, you are not desensitized to these types of images. What desensitization is basically conditioning of your mind and to like these negative images or views of movies depicted now. All of us can really relate to this topic of desensitization because in today's world we're really exposed to a lot of graphic content, like violence, gore, video games, like right now horror films. And we can't seem to get away from it. As a person, I love horror films and I adore them so much. And because of this, I myself has become desensitized to all these horror films. Like, I'll watch the Saw series, you know, the Jigsaw, he kidnaps the criminals, or like people did people wrong, and he'll torture them. Like, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it. I love it. Like, I don't get scared and I don't think it's gross, and I think it's fantastic. I'm not a psychopath. Like, I mean, if you get on my bad side, like, don't get on my bad side, right? Learning about desensitization can really help us because when we understand what causes this, we can attack the problem, and we can realize, like, okay, like, maybe I shouldn't watch this horror film, even though I really want to, but maybe it's not good for my brain to be processing these thoughts all the time. So, basically the definition, again, decrease the emotional responsiveness to its negative action after repeated exposure to it. Again, watching a film over and over and over again. Like, same gore, same everything. And you can easily compare this to having your friend tell the same joke over and over again. Like, hey, I fell over and I don't know, there's some funny joke your friend was saying, and he kept saying it over and over again. At first it was hilarious, and then now it's completely boring because your brain became conditioned to that joke. It's just not funny anymore. So, now the causes of desensitization is horror films. Overexposure to blood, gore, and frightening images in horror films can create great conditioning in the mind today. According to the two psychiatrists, Brad Bushman and Craig Anderson, In their article, Comfortably Numb, they stated, exposure to blood and gore in the media might make people numb to the pain and suffering of others. So, back in the day, there was the 1940s. There was this movie called The Wolfman. Now, this movie, when people first saw this film for the first time, they were blown away by its effects. They were actually even terrified. But now you take kids nowadays and they see The Wolfman, they're like, dude, this movie's kind of boring. It's black and white. The effects kind of suck, dude. And then nowadays we got this movie. It's called The Babadook, which, in my opinion, is a horrifying movie. This is a really good movie, though. I recommend you guys watch it. But you take a person from the 1940s and then